what I mean, and you know probably more being a manager and being involved in clubs, we know directors of football now it's a massive part of a football club, isn't it? And would they almost be seen as being not more important, or the manager answers to the director of football? Is that what would normally be?
And the trusted person for the owner is the director of football.
What I'm saying is, I think when a manager's gone into a club and done a really good job, so remember Eddie Howe goes into Newcastle, bit of a, it's not a basket case, but they're near the bottom of the league, he does brilliant, buys players, they're doing really well. And then they go and get Paul Mitchell, who's seen as like this top sporting director, who's been at Tottenham, I think he's been at Monaco. So the clubs grew, we're going to get like a renowned sporting director. And I think when a sporting director comes in, this manager's done a great job, and they almost start dictating to the manager. They're like, I've been here 2 years, we've built this club up, I'm not listening to you. And I think a little bit with Nuno as well, he sort of dragged Forest up, had a great season, he's in chat, then this guy comes up above him. And I don't know if it's this thing of like, almost like the big director of football's almost got to be in there before him and bring the coach on this journey. It just feels to me that, and not just these two I'm talking about, any manager, probably ourselves, if we were managers and you've done this great job and a sporting director,
Jamie,
I think there's always going to be
hardest part of management is managing up, but managing upwards. And if someone does come in, and if a director of football comes in, you'd think the main part of that job is to help the manager. Some managers then will see him, he's not been a help, he's been a hindrance, whether that's recruitment or just personality clashes. And if that owner's brought him in, unfortunately the owner's probably going to back the director of football, particularly in this case, particularly with the owner of Forest. Listen, and I'm sure Forest fans and people will go, well, if you look at the owner, he's brought success to Forest, he's thrown money at. But it doesn't mean to say you have to treat managers like that. You can still do things properly. When you do sack him, do it properly, and you give them a manager to get out the door instead of making statements when the manager stood at the door. That's the bit I'm talking about.
If that was any other workplace in the country,
I agree.
in any other sector, and the boss walked in and was basically acting like that, there would be a massive problem with the employees. Because if you normalise that and you say that's okay behind the guys that, oh, football's all about passion. No, there's a behavioural code when you're the boss of a football club or the boss of a business of how you act to people who work underneath you, and it's quite clear that wasn't right.
But did they still look at the owner and go, yeah, listen, we're making progress, you're spending all this money, but can you just treat people with it? Can you treat people with a little bit of class? If you're sacking a manager, you've sacked managers, you can still sack somebody properly. You can still do it properly.